Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. Ready for round one on this Saturday
Yeah, I love
or
it every day.
Tuesday, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever day it is. Hey, something I want to do is um, I actually want to celebrate some very large YouTube channels, but I want to celebrate their early days, right? When they had 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, because I think the content on those channels and the topics they were doing, I think was very relevant to today, right? Specifically in the first video, we're going to talk about Stephan, which last time I saw had nearly 4 million subscribers. And he's doing things like buying chicken franchises and things of that nature. But I want to go back to Stephan, the hustler, right? Living below his means, making coffee at home, and working on leasing properties to make commissions. So I want to talk about OG Stephan when he still had to work. What are some things you remember from some of those earlier videos?
What I really liked about his first few years, and I think this kind of happens to a lot of content creators, we want to make a channel about what matters to us. Mm-hmm. And I'm not giving relationship advice. I'm not giving parenting advice, right? I'm giving, this is how I work towards and then reach financial freedom. And that's what he was doing. If your channel grows, like there's a YouTube channel, Joe Kuhn, who talks about retiring. He retired at 54. He's been retired 4 years now. He makes videos and gets 60 to 70,000 views when he talks about retiring early. And then he makes videos on process improvement because he was a plant manager, and he gets 500 views. So he doesn't know what his channel is about, right? Yeah. The viewers are telling him what his channel is about. Stephan made videos about a real estate agent who was young, who had inconsistent income, who used house hacking to stabilize his income, get regular monthly income coming in so that he could pursue being a real estate agent, and then ended up being so he could pursue YouTube. I identified with that. My jobs kept getting taken away. Get laid off after the recession, the Marine Corps downsized, like all these reasons why I was losing my job. So I looked at real estate as a way to get consistent income to then be able to pursue whatever job, which is actually no job, that I wanted to. And at some point, views started happening on reacting to videos, and views started happening on more, I don't know, less real estate, less investing. But he still does them once in a while. Once in a while, I'll see like 1 out of 20 or 30 videos comes up, and I'll go, oh, that's the one I'm going to watch. I'm going to share that with a bunch of people. I'm going to send it to my kids. Like, he still has the knowledge.
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
Just his channel kind of audience forced him to go another way.
Yeah, and again, I actually, if you're a younger person, or frankly, if this is your first recession, I think watching old Graham stuff is awesome. He hustled, right? He did it. I don't know if the right way is the right way to do it, but he lived below his means. He didn't fight the market. He did what was required, right? He started in a recession. He got his real estate license like the day the market peaked, right? And he didn't let it hold him back. He could have mucked and mired and got a barista job, but no, he didn't worry about, because again, his market, I think, went down for 4 or 5 years, kind of, a slow bleed. That wasn't fun, but he went after it. He says, oh, I can't get paid to sell homes because everything's going short sale and foreclosure. I'm going to go lease properties. I'm going to pay my bills. And then you're right. He house hacked. House hacking is such an underappreciated thing. We did 2 deep dives on it 2 Saturdays in a row. And then we just did an ADU one, which is another way to house hack. And yeah, I don't know if there's a way to get that playlist like old Stephan going, like, get started in a recession. I think a lot of young people, even if this is your first recession, some of those old Graham videos, just get your mindset right. Get after it, do the work. Don't complain, live below your means. Bad times don't last forever, but you got to get through them, right? If you're in hell, don't stop, just keep going. And I think some early Graham stuff, that's what I was watching when I started, is some of his early stuff. I just liked how he was kind of always even keeled. He didn't let the market get to him. I'm sure it was frustrating. Yeah, I really love some of his old stuff.
So here is how YouTube University works for the people like me or a lumberjack landlord who actually like take in hours of content every day still. Go to Stephan's page in YouTube. Go to the videos tab and arrange it by date uploaded. Go to the oldest one. This is what I do every time I find a new content creator that I'm like, oh, I really like what that person said in that one random video. I go back and I watch them from the beginning so I can hear their story arc from literally when they weren't a YouTube creator making a bunch of money on YouTube. This is how, this is what mattered to them, and I take it all the way through. There's several content creators I've done that with.
I think that's a great idea. I never even thought about that. Yeah, because again, everybody starts at 0, right? Everybody starts with no subscribers, or maybe your wife or your husband is your first one. But yeah, I like that idea. I think that's a good idea. What are some other things you take away from Graham Stephan? Kind of, because again, he bought a couple of duplexes in the crash. He was kind of he was financing them. He was being he was self-managing, as I recall. He was just he did it the right way.
So here's what I really like, and I wish I could like start the video with this because a lot of people don't make it to the ending of a video. But he gets systems.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he did in school, but I know he didn't like a job. He had a job for like 8 weeks, never did it again. He's had a couple of videos on that. But starting real estate with a license when you're young and people don't look at you as a source of information and you don't have consistent income, and then go look and think, if I sign leases with people, help them find their rentals, help them find renters, then that person, when they buy in the future, will consider buying through me. And so he developed that system to grow that. He looked at YouTube and he said, this is a system. We have thumbnails, click-through rate, view duration. Like, how do I use this to grow on YouTube? So I would look back and go, I don't think it really mattered what Graham did, whether it was YouTube, real estate, stocks, grow a business. He's the kind of person I think would sit back and go, what system will make this work to do what I want? And that's what I try to take away from his videos. When I watch his videos, I go, how is he explaining this in a system format? Because I'm not Graham. I'm not his age. I don't have his resources. When he had nothing, I wasn't that. When he had something, I wasn't that. But what system can I take and put into whatever I'm doing? And so I look forward to more videos whenever he touches on the basics. If it says reacting to, I'm the age where I skip it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I've watched a couple of his videos knowing that we were going to talk about this today, and you're right. You're right. I think even if you watch like his last 7 or 8 videos, I think you're right. I think there's a system. I think there's kind of a flow that he goes through. I think you're right. I never actually put it together. I think that's genius. I think Graham Stephan's superpower is, I think everything to him is a process flow. And he just plays with the process flow and he tweaks it and changes it. He doesn't work. I don't think he worries about perfection. I think he worries about, okay, here it is. Let me try it. And then he tweaks from there. I think he's continually improving. I don't think he's ever satisfied. I think he's fun to watch. But yeah, for me, it's definitely the real estate stuff. But yeah, that process flow and flow chart, I never put that together. I think that's genius. Well done.
Well, I don't think we notice stuff like that until we look for it. So I like to read, but I, up until recently, didn't have a lot of time. So I became an audio, information intaker. So it was podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube, even YouTube app closed, just listening, right? One rental at a time, your book. I've listened to it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've listened to it. But when you sit down and you read that, I think I'd listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad probably 5 or 6 times. By the time I actually sat down, I got to read it and realized that book is about 6 lessons. It's broken down into lesson format. And then listening to it, I never really got that. I got, okay, these are stories that are opening up new thoughts in my head. Great. Yeah. But when I read it, one rental at a time, your chapters are broken down into a very like systematic, like there's 4 steps to each chapter going through, which I didn't really pick up on the Audible, but I picked up when I read it.
Interesting. Yeah. So go ahead.
And so I was just going to say that I think there are people like you and me who need those systems, and then we can implement the systems in whatever we're doing, even if it's from a totally different industry than the source we got the information from.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing with what you kind of shared. I mean, if you break down, if you watch a Graham Stephan video, or maybe listen might be a better way, I can now see the system, the flow chart, whatever you call it, kind of in my head. So I think that's very well done. Dion, do me a favor. Where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.